Hey everybody, welcome, and thank you for listening to this episode of Marriage Therapy Radio. My name is Zach Brittle, and I am so excited to share this episode with you today. It is our first official episode featuring listeners from Marriage Therapy Radio who wrote in and said, hey, we want to talk about our relationship. And so I'm so thankful to Symone and Paul from Texas who have a unique story. They have a pretty significant age difference between the two of them. They are a blended family, and I have said a million times it is the hardest thing that I do. But they have a really cool perspective on how they manage it. There's a couple of aha moments, even for me, that I think you'll enjoy hearing about. Paul and Symone are in the middle of a road trip. They pulled over on the side of the road, gave us the interview from their car. I think you'll dig it. This is a very cool conversation. Stick around. What do you got going on in the back seat there? Is that your decoy so that you can go in the HOV lane?
We're actually on a road trip headed to Louisiana.
Yeah.
So we're around Austin right now. Headed.
Well, what's in the back is my hat. I put my hats on the headrest so that they don't get smushed.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of firsts for me today. I've never had a podcast from the car, so that's kind of exciting. And you live where?
We live in San Antonio.
Okay. And you're headed to Louisiana.
Yes.
And you pulled over near Austin to talk to me.
Of course.
Yep. At Summer Moon.
This was like a major production. We were in Best Buy for 2 hours yesterday looking for headphones, and she almost bought a whole podcast set.
Right on.
So we could do this.
Well,
we're honored. It's a pleasure to just for you to have us.
Yeah, it's foreign to us. We went into the Best Buy and we saw a young guy and we were like, we need to do this thing where we need to put the two headphones together and we need to be able to talk at the same time and hear at the same time. And he's like, oh, you just need a, you need a splitter. It's almost like second nature to all the podcasters, but not to us.
Yeah.
So what are you looking at? Are you looking at your laptop, your phone? You looking at your car? What's going on?
iPad.
Right on.
The iPad's on the dashboard.
I love it.
Yeah.
So the other first is, Symone, you reached out to me. You're like, hey, I heard you on Marriage Therapy Radio say that you want to talk to people. I'll talk to you. So that's very kind. Thank you for doing that. But you guys are my first sort of listener interview as a result of my desire to figure out what's going on with everyday couples in their everyday life. So this is exciting for me. Thank you.
My goodness. What was it? I found you just randomly. We listen to all kind of stuff, podcasts, anything that we feel can help us, and then we text each other links. Hey, listen to this, or hey, listen to that. So I sent it to her. I sent her two. I guess she liked it because the next thing I know, it's like, hey, you want to do this thing? And I was like, what thing? I was like, what'd you do?
I was curious. You were curious, and I got curious too.
Yeah. What made you curious? What are you working on as a couple? What's your thing that keeps you trying to figure this whole thing out? You gave me a couple of hints in your first email, and then in your but tell us what it is that you're interested in
as a couple. You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
This is your time. This is your 15 minutes.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think we have a lot of conversations. When you first walked in, we were talking. We were talking all the time together. Yeah. So really our thing, I would say, is we really we're curious and we talk and we ask questions. And a lot of that happens when we're gardening, when we're outside. And I call it when we're outside playing, and we just have a lot of good conversations and just.
That's kind of our neutral zone, is the yard, We garden, we like flowers and plants and stuff, and we like working in the yard. So that's, if we're arguing or if we have a difference of opinion, then it's like, okay, meet me outside. And we don't argue there. We don't bring in the mess there. We just enjoy each other. 9 times out of 10, after about the first 30, 45 minutes, somebody says, the one thing we do remind each other is like, I'm not your enemy.
Mm-hmm.
And that just kind of cools things down and puts things in perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first podcast that I heard. Was you guys were discussing, you had a young lady on and you guys were discussing words. And it was like, hey, well, my husband's a narcissist or my wife's a narcissist.
Right.
Oh, labels.
Well, yeah, labels. And it's like, hey, well, if that's the case, then, you need to leave this person. And so it's like, once we get to that really struck me because we talk about that all the time. It's like, hey, Symone, like, I'm not your enemy. Like, I'm on your side. And when we can really, really focus on that, then it puts us in a position to receive. So that's kind of our thing, and we don't want a third marriage.
Because this is second marriage for each of you.
For each of us, yeah. And and like we don't want to do that, anymore. Like we don't have to. Like everything's a choice, right?
The headline of your email to me, Symone, was there's two kind of I don't want to call them like presenting problems, but two characteristics that stand out. One is that you're a blended family, and one is there's a pretty big age difference between the two of you.
Yeah.
20 years.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you want to tackle those in order? Or do you have a sort of an opening summary of what that is like for the two of you?
It's interesting because when I was like reflecting on the questions that you were asking, I realized I didn't speak anything about our age difference or how that affects us. And in a lot of ways, it really doesn't affect us. It's like I've known him my whole life, and a 20-year age gap is a huge gap because he's really old enough to be my dad.
Yeah. Biologically, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, biologically.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm only 13 years older than his daughter. But, the thing about us is that our parents are the same age. His parents had him very young. My mother had me at an older age. So we kind of had a similar way of being brought up.
Yeah. Your
So
parents' generation was the same. Like their cultural context was similar. Yeah.
Our fathers are actually very similar too. So it's in personality. It really wasn't a big deal, us being 20 years apart.
How long have you been together?
Oh, so 2 years. We've been married for 3 years, huh? So
together.
We've kind of been together we were together for 2, and we've been married for 3 years. We've been married for 1,
and we
got married
count.
Last summer.
I guess we don't really count it. I say we've been together for many lifetimes because it feels like we've been together forever. Like it feels like I really met him again.
So I'm a teacher, and I teach at an elementary school. I'm a special education behavior teacher.
Okay.
And so I do the social emotional learning and all that. And so her daughter goes to the school that I was teaching at.
Okay. Is this your origin story? Is this how you met?
Kind of. Yeah, this is how we met. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I actually met her daughter first, and so I'm kind of a unicorn at that school. Like there's only 3 men on the campus, and I'm the only black man on the campus.
Okay.
And so, I kind of look out, and I'm just kind of all the black kids are kind of just gravitate to me. Is it
like, what's the racial breakdown for black kids? Are they in the minority there, or is it a? Okay.
Yeah, they're for sure. Yeah.
In the neighborhood, it's the whole demographics of the neighborhood is, blacks are the minority.
Okay.
In that area.
Okay.
So her daughter just kind of, there's someone that looks like me.
Yeah.
And so every morning, get her out of the car for school, and take her to the car for pickup, and I'd see her, driving through, and she started subbing at the school.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm a teacher too.
Yeah, so she's a teacher. Yeah, she's a teacher too, and she started subbing at the school after her divorce. And so I would just, just follow her aura, down the hallway. She'd just be floating.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, that's.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing about you,
Yeah.
Symone, is both in the photo that comes with your Google, and then now your eyes, right? Your eyes are gorgeous. Like, yeah, that's
I appreciate
like
that.
be hard to miss them. Be like, oh, I'm gonna see whatever she's looking at because
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
So okay, so you actually haven't. I mean, in terms of the age difference, you haven't weathered what you will weather, which is the idea that you Paul will get older.
Of course.
Like, and the gap will, but that's okay. That happens in its own time. But right now, it doesn't. It's notable that you filled out your survey, and that wasn't the big thing.
Right. Not now. I mean, his life
Culturally,
stage is
generationally, you feel very aligned.
Yeah, but there are some things like he's experiencing more of his friends and family passing away, whereas I'm not, because I'm only 35. That doesn't happen very often, but he's actually experiencing, the loss of friends because they're at that age now where, random heart attacks or things
It's
like
not
that.
I'm 52, man. Like, don't rush us. Don't rush us.
Yeah, I'm 54, and so it's not a surprise to say, "Hey, Charlie died yesterday." But oh shit, And so, but for a 35-year-old to just die, I mean, that would be a surprise. There's some differences there, but I think where I am in my life stage is perfect for Symone, because I'm at the legacy part where who I am matters, and integrity and safety and financial security. Like, so that's perfect for someone that's where she is right now, because I'm those security things are what's the stability is important to me, just as important as it is important to her. Whereas the average 35-year-old, just got out of the club, what I mean? So, it's just that. Yeah. So
the average 35-year-old man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The average 35-year-old woman is like, okay, I'm ready to do
ready
my
for
thing.
Kids.
Yeah. Clock's ticking. But okay, tell me about your kids.
Oh, can I start?
Go.
I have one daughter. She's the only one. Alma. She's a beautiful child. So well-rounded, a little hippie spirit. She has this long wavy hair that when she runs around, it just kind of flows everywhere. So she's got this like mark on her too, that when you can't miss her, she's incredibly smart, incredibly kind.
Humble.
Oh my gosh, she's so humble and thoughtful, and I could go on and on and on.
Elementary school.
Elementary, she's going to go into 5th grade next year.
Okay.
But she's learning 8th grade math. She's brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's Alma.
And so I have 2. So my oldest is 23. And she, Lila, and she's my first, and she's a girl, and so she does no wrong. Like, she's never done anything wrong, and I've never had a reason to tell her no. So but perfect. Like, she played volleyball and softball. She went to Lehigh University on a volleyball scholarship, full scholarship.
Okay.
And graduated from Lehigh, 4 years. She was a COVID graduate, so she got an extra year of eligibility. And so as soon as she left Lehigh, she went to Sam Houston and played another year of volleyball and got her master's. And so she'll be graduating in August with her master's. And already working. And so, that's her. And my son, Jacob. The great thing about our kids, our younger kids, are they're the same age.
Only a few months apart.
Apart. So Jacob's 10. He's also going to the 5th grade.
Yeah. Jacob and Lila?
Jacob and Lila. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do Jacob and Lila have the same mom?
Yeah.
She had a giant gap between
my
having those two
previous
children
marriage
together.
I was married for 22 years.
Huh.
Yeah.
So you
very
have
different.
Okay, wait. So you have Lila is at school, Jacob's at home, and then your daughter's name is
Alma, and she goes between my ex-husband
the kids. The kids go back and forth.
50-50.
Yeah.
You have them at the same time, and then you break at the same time?
Sometimes it depends. His schedule is a little different than mine.
Yeah.
Mine is just 1 week on, 1 week off, and his fluctuates
different.
different.
Mine is the traditional, what the court says.
Yeah. So they sometimes we have weekends off. So this is a great week. We're off. We don't have kids this week.
Yeah,
so
no kids.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, I never want to sell. It's a tough one. I'm never like, man, that sounds pretty great. Be like parents part-time and you got like freedom part-time. Like that's, I could get into that, but I never want to like be like, maybe you should try divorce and co-parenting because then you get
you get time off.
You can do that within a marriage. You can still have time off within a marriage.
Sure. Although we never did. We were, I don't know, we were late to the train. Rebecca and I went to Ireland about a year and a half ago. We took 10 days, and it was the first time that we had took extended time away from our kids together alone. I mean, we'd done an overnight here and there, maybe like a little, like go to a wedding or something. But in terms of like actually getting away and farming our kids out, but they were, I mean, mine are 18 and 22.
Okay. Yeah.
So
okay. And and you only have the two?
I have 2 girls. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
We actually put it on the calendar. Like we identify the days that we have no kids.
Yeah, sure.
And we plan stuff, we joke, but we say all the time, like, I know you got a kid, but I just want to be with you.
Yeah. The hardest thing I do in my practice is help couples with their blended family. Blended families are really, really hard.
Oh my God.
And
it has not been easy.
Yeah, I want to hear about it. Because it seems like you have found a little bit of a rhythm and you clearly have a lot of affinity for one another. But, loyalties are tested and, priorities are changing and there's coming and going and there's, and I just, when people get into it and they have to start talking about my kid versus your kid and all this stuff, like I'm interested to know how you guys have weathered that. Like, what's your perspective on it, and what's been hard? What solutions have you found? I know that's a ton of things that I'm asking at once, but talk to me about your experience of, particularly with the 2 that are the same age. Like, how do you navigate the ups and downs of that?
Yeah, it's tough in some ways, but it's also great in others. The tough thing I think is because we don't have Jacob as frequently as we have Alma, the expectations and the understandings of how things run in our household are constantly new to him. And so there's always this like teaching experience that we have to go through with him. And so like we'll get him on a Tuesday and then maybe we'll get him that one day and then we get him the following weekend for the 2 days. That's just not enough time really for us to be able to hone in on things that we're doing in the household that make our lives a little bit more cohesive. And so it's just, there's a lot of bumping heads in that regard. And for me, as a woman, I think there's this idea that you're supposed to, and this might be hard to say, but I think I should say it because I think it's important. People don't want to be honest about this because it's hard to say, but the reality is it's hard to bond with another child that is not your biological child, at least for me. Some women, it comes natural and easy, but for some of us, it's a real learning curve. And so I think when it comes to like understanding him, it's taking me a little bit of time, especially since we don't have him as much. But it's been a really big adjustment, but I do see in the future that we will have a good relationship. But right now it's a little iffy. Like,
Well,
I'm not.
well, it's kind of weird, just to kind of give you a perspective. So a lot rides on the the other partner's relationship with the other parent.
So Symone's relationship with your ex-wife.
Or my relationship with my ex-wife.
Okay.
You know, not even Symone.
Okay.
I
mean, the unit, like us as a unit, our relationship with her really.
You're not really a unit of 4. You're like a unit of 18 or something, or 8, or.
Well, you should be.
Yeah.
You know, but it's just not. It's just not built that way. So if I don't have a great relationship with the other parent, then Symone automatically does her job. Like she's the watchdog. Like I'm the protector, but she's the eyes. Like she, you know, the woman sees things that, you know, men just don't see. We're not looking. And so she's the protector. So she's always on guard. And so then when you think of someone coming from quote unquote enemy territory into the bunker with you, even though it's a child, it's still it's just a natural thing to wonder, like, what's coming from there. You know what I mean? It's just trust. It's just trust, you know? And so that kind of sometimes it puts me in a position where I'm fighting for both sides, you know? But that's the reality of it. But what I do know is that Symone has great intentions, and Jacob's a good kid, so that relationship's going to work itself out without my interference. Because in the beginning, I'm trying to be the interference, you know. And Jacob, are you okay, babe? Are you okay? Like, what do you guys need? Well, maybe you guys ought to do, you know. And I'm just ripping it up, you know.
Yeah.
And so I just had to let it go.
Him and I tend to gravitate towards each other when a pivotal moment is about to happen, and there's a lesson to be learned.
Him and you'll find Paul and Symone, or Symone and
Jacob and Symone?
Symone and me. Symone and I.
Jacob.
No.
Yeah.
Jacob and I.
They'll end up on the front porch.
We'll end up on the front porch, maybe talking about something really deep that happened that he may need to, you know, sort through. And that's how I kind of show up as a counsel for him if he needs it. You know, and that's where I feel most comfortable, you know, right now.
On the front porch, one-on-one, you know, tapping into like the still small moment. You know, listen, Paul, what you said is like I'm gonna hang on to this for a long time. But this idea that Symone has good intentions and Jacob's a good kid, it's gonna get there. They're gonna get there. You know,
it's got to, yeah.
Well, I mean, and it needs to take its own process. If you intervene, or if you step in, you may interrupt the good intentions opportunity to connect with the good kid and slow it down and make it bump, you know, make it, I don't know, not give it its own chance to breathe. Like I think that's so rich. That's a rich insight.
I do that a lot as well.
You step in.
Yeah, but I'm the circle back king, right? So, and she'll tell you, like, you know, I'll fuck it up on the first run, but I promise her that I'm always going to acknowledge where, you know, I misstepped, and I'm going to always circle back, you know, and acknowledge where, you know, acknowledge my part in everything. And that's the key. I mean, is that pause and to look back and see only you know what I mean? Like if I were to block out everything that came from her prior to me feeling a certain way and just deal with me, then I'm going to find something. And I'm always going to circle back, and we're going to meet outside, you know, on the front porch. It's hard, you know, to humble yourself, but at 54, like shit, why not?
Yeah. I've been saying this is my new thing. I latch onto these phrases that I use a lot, and I just repeat them over and over again. But one of the things I'm saying right now is, man, the older I get, the more I realize you got to pick your battles.
Yeah.
And then when you pick them, you got to put a few back.
Of course.
And then once you put a few back, you just put a few more back.
And then just shut the fuck up. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, who cares, man? I'm too old to deal with this baloney, you know?
Right. I hear you.
Symone, I want to go back to this thing though, and just hear how you've worked through the thing that you named, which is it's really hard to bond with somebody else's kid. Like, what have you done, or what are you doing to address that thing that you've drawn attention to? What's worked? What hasn't worked? Like, what's the...
For sure, I know what hasn't worked, and what hasn't worked is like,
sure,
I can be really intense, you know, and I don't...
Little people.
Yeah.
I am little.
Yeah.
But that has nothing to do with my intensity.
Gotcha.
I think that I'm just an intense person. And so when I'm really passionate about seeing the change in behavior of someone, especially when I know they have the potential, like I'm an administrator, I'm a teacher. Yes, you can do this. So when I see people fall short of that, it just like, come on, you know, and that intensity comes, and I think that scares some people.
Yeah.
And so as a school leader, I'm learning to dial that back a bit. And so even in my therapy, my personal therapy, my therapist, you know, tells me to learn to self-regulate and check in with my emotions. And I have a feelings wheel that I have all over the house and even at work, to just sort of remind me to pause before I react, because sometimes I can get right into it and go on, and it could be really intense in a good way or in a bad way. And so pausing is kind of what helps me to not react so quickly, and it gives me some room to have some compassion for him, especially when he does things that might be annoying, like a regular 10-year-old. Like my daughter would do the same thing and it would be just as annoying, but when it's someone else's child, it's 10 times more annoying, you know? And so I have to really learn to check in with compassion a little bit more.
Yeah. Do you have a like a hip pocket definition of compassion? You both kind of went, oh yeah, this is the word, but like, what does that word mean to you?
Well, you know, we were talking about that. Yes. Was it this morning?
Yeah, like 2 days ago.
2 days ago.
Yeah.
And it kind of led back to a conversation that we heard on one of your shows, where everywhere, like I'm a behavior teacher. I'm at a Title I school. I'm dealing with, you know, worst of the worst of the worst, and it's not their fault. So it's like, so we hear empathy. And like, I think I heard you guys say like that's not always like the word, like that's not what because empathy puts us in a whole nother position. So it's, and then you mentioned compassion, and that's what we always say, like, be considerate, be compassionate with me, you know. That's what I say all the time.
Well, yeah. And actually, like, so I used to teach dyslexia, and we would take words and break them down into each little component. And I would like to sit and try to figure that out right now, but I don't want to do that because I think that's too much. But I know that part of that word is to join together or to come together. Yeah. And so really it's just another level of connection with other people. Like and maybe compassionate for one person, for someone might look different for someone else, but it really is just an effort to be connected to that person in some way in order to really understand or deepen your understanding for them. That's kind of what I would see as compassion in a broad sense.
Yeah, it's just a different. I think compassion comes with vulnerability on both sides. Like, you know, we talked about that during the drive. I'm in a better position to be compassionate when you're vulnerable with me, when you're telling me how you're feeling and where it's coming from, and when you're not throwing it to me. Like we talk about all the time, what's yours and what's mine, and everybody has trauma, but I can't give you my trauma. Like, I can't blame that on you just because you're triggering me. Well, it's triggering because of something that somebody else did. So I can't put that on you. And so that's where that compassion comes in. Like, I'm taking the blame off of everybody. And I'm like, babe, I didn't know. Like, what, you know what I mean? That's compassion. How can I help,
What do you think?
What
is your idea of compassion?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think for me that this started, and what you're referencing is that there's a therapist and researcher I like. Her name is Sarah Nasserzada, and she is the one who sort of put this juxtaposition of empathy and compassion on the table and said, empathy is not the goal, compassion is the goal. And it's something like not trying to understand what somebody feels.
Right.
Or feel what they're feeling, but to really proactively care for them in their distress or in their feeling, from a position of strength and humility and grace. I think like is what she's arguing, and I guess I've just been playing with it a lot. I also I want things to make sense, so you've already said a couple of things that I have like strong feelings about. They're words that start with C. So like curiosity is a big one, right? Compassion is a big one. Connection is a big one. Conscientiousness. You said another one a little bit earlier, but my brain is already writing a book about the 7 C's that you need to make. But if I'm going to do that, I have to understand what compassion, for example, means to people.
So my big thing is curiosity over judgment. You know?
Well, I think curiosity over certainty, right? Because certainty is a killer. As soon as you say, I know exactly what this is about, I know exactly what's happening here, I know exactly what you're going to say, it's over, You've
drawn a line.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I like that.
Question for you.
Yeah, go for it.
Because you talked about compassion, and yesterday something kind of came to me, like, when you think about asking for forgiveness from other people, and what's the word that, I don't know, there's a word for it, but when you're asking for forgiveness from other people, how do you feel about giving that grace towards other people, having that, I guess grace and compassion are different, but
so it's like, how do you forgive someone, give them, grace and forgive when you can't let it go. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're still pissed, but you like, I forgive you,
and even just accepting that person's accountability. Like when someone takes accountability for something and they say, I take accountability, I've done something wrong. And on the other end, something is going on. I'm curious to know how you feel about that dynamic.
Yeah.
What do you think?
My favorite definition of forgiveness is giving up hope for a different past.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
can you say that? Explain that.
The reason, like the thing about forgiveness that's so hard is that we're pretty committed to the past. Like, this is how it's going to be. This is what you did. This is the thing that you did. This is maybe even who you are. This is the consequences of the choices that have happened. And if you become like super committed to that, you're locked in. Like, it's really hard to let go or forget or move on or even trust the future. So if you're going to forgive, you have to kind of give up hope for a different past. The past is what it is, and it happened. It should inform us. We should be curious about it. But it should give us
that's that certainty again, right?
Yeah, well, it should just be part of wisdom, right? Wisdom is saying, okay, knowing what I know now, this is how I'm going to operate. I'm not going to just give you carte blanche opportunity to wound me again.
True.
But so I'm going to protect myself in ways that are important to protect myself.
Of course.
But because I want to stay in relationship with you, I'm going to have to believe in a different future.
Yeah.
That's it.
Here's the reality about forgiveness too. Honestly, you don't have to do it if you're not going to stay in a relationship with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not going to, because you can just be like, yeah, that guy who, from middle school who, I don't know, was my bully. I don't forgive that guy. I'm never going to see him again. But the reality is that hanging on to my resentment for him, what good does that do? I mean, so I don't have to forgive him, but I also don't need to hang on to my resentment because that doesn't do anything for me. It's sort of, so I'm kind of on the practical side of a lot of these kind of forgiveness conversations. Because if my wife, for example, I want to stay in a relationship with her, I got to generate some hope for the future,
Yes,
we say
absolutely.
that
because
yeah.
Even in therapy, I mean, I know one of the questions was about our experience in therapy. I think I've gotten to a point in my life now where I have to say, just because I'm upset about something doesn't mean I have to leave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Doesn't mean the relationship's over and then I have to start all over. I have to find somebody new just because this one thing is wrong. Like, I'm at a point now where I'm
that's the generational deal. I'm, millennial, right? So,
I'm a millennial.
You're the millennial. Yeah. So they'll up and
what are we? We're Gen X or something?
We're Gen X.
Or Gen X.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And so I'm latchkey,
Are you a latchkey kid too?
I'm built
it's not strictly by the definition of a latchkey kid, but yeah, I had a lot more independence.
But mom wasn't going to pay a babysitter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it is what it is. And so we were built to survive certain things where, this generation has no resilience.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I don't like it.
Go ahead.
I don't
go
have
ahead
to
and
deal
be
with
upset
this,
about that,
and
Symone,
I am
but
out.
Yeah.
and that's what you get.
Well, and I can be upset about it, but he's not wrong. Like, it is true. We've been entitled. We get to a point where we're like, I don't have to be unhappy at work, so I'm not going to work.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And it's worse. It's worse for our 22-year-olds.
Of course.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Because they circle back and they don't leave.
Yeah.
When I was the same, I think about that all the time.
What they call that, failure to launch. I'm working on my master's in counseling now.
Yeah. Mine has my 22-year-old has her first, she just graduated from SMU actually. So she was in Dallas and she's got her first job right now. She's at summer camp. It's not going great. She's like, I'm about to put in my 2 weeks notice. I'm like, what?
Of course.
I'm like, you're at summer camp. What are you talking about? You're making $500 a week. You're hanging out with frogs and don't teaching Shakespeare. I'm like,
oh my
chill
gosh.
out.
Yeah. This is.
But I can't say that. We can't say that to her. Yet. Like, you gotta listen. I don't know if you've had this experience, Paul, but this is something I've had to learn is in my life, I've never once learned anything ever in my life before I was ready to learn it.
Yep.
So I'm trying to teach something to a 22-year-old or a 35-year-old, and I have to just kind of make room for you. You learn it when you're ready. I never learned anything before I was ready, so I can't make.
I'll be here to catch you.
Yeah, I'll be here.
Yeah, but Symone is Lila needs to understand this, and she needs to understand that. And she's 23 years old, and when I was 23, I had a kid. And
I was married.
Yeah, me too. We got married, I think we were 23 and 24. And I think about that now. I think about Abby, who's 22, and I'm like, man, I hope she doesn't get married next year because she doesn't know shit about shit.
They don't know anything.
And you don't know anything.
No.
And I was like, we've had everything Rebecca and I know about marriage, we've learned on the job. And I'm like, I wish I had a little bit more practice beforehand. So.
Well, now after the second round, I think I feel the same way. Like, there's a lot I could have waited on.
Yeah.
If I was a little older, I think I would have made different decisions.
Well, you guys are a delight. I really enjoyed talking to you. I'm so glad that you pulled over on the side of the road to give me a hour of your attention.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. It's an awesome experience.
So big shout out and thank you to Paul and Symone for taking the time to talk to me. I love that they're just regular people who have regular thoughts on their relationship and still have something to say and something to offer. I know that they are continuing to work hard at making their relationship work. I'm grateful that we can be a part of their process. And I'm grateful to you for listening. Again, a great way to stay involved with Marriage Therapy Radio is to become a subscriber on Patreon. You can do that at marriagetherapyradio.com and click on the Patreon banner. There's also patreon.com/marriagetherapyradio. My blog is up and running. It's called Stuff I Write. Check it out, subscribe. I would love for you to hear about things that I'm working on that have nothing to do with relationships. And I'm just chilling. We got a couple of cool interviews lined up. One that I think you'll especially dig. It's a surprise, but you have to stay tuned. That's in, I think, 2 weeks. For now, I'll thank you for the time and attention you put into making your relationship better today than it was yesterday.